Okay, welcome back to Inside the Cellar Studio. I am John. I am half of part-time Okie Picker. My wife Rebecca is recovering from surgery, so she will not be here today. Today, I have something to go over. We purchased on Friday, off of Facebook Marketplace, we purchased a Nintendo collection, as you can clearly see next to me on my left. Wait, that's left and right. We did pay $800. It's 178 games. I think that came to $455 per cartridge, I think. The stuff to my right is stuff that's right on that 15 and under cusp. And everything to my left are the bigger, better games, except for the two in my little stands here, which did get thrown in. I think they're really cool. I'll probably use them for listing purposes, put the game in, take a picture, take it out. Little 3D printed trays that hold 5 games. They are not for sale, but all the games, most of the games will be. So what happened is I was looking around on Facebook on Thursday night, I believe. I don't look very often during garage sale season. I kind of, just stick to that during the off season, aka winter. And I saw this listing from an individual who I have dealt with before. I actually traded him some of these games for some Lego stuff, go figure. And I saw it listed. I messaged him immediately. He had a bunch of other accessories, system, and like a trackpad and stuff like that. That's stuff I don't need. I already have systems. I have accessories. So I asked if he would do just the games alone, and what was he thinking. He said I was second in line. That's deflating. But he messaged me the next morning after he had marked it pending and said the person that was first in line wasn't responding back to messages. He was going to give that individual till 9 a.m. and I was out of garage sales. I didn't see his message at that point, but I had messaged him back 10:20 and said, I'll take it. It's a guaranteed sell. He said he'd take $800 for the games and he'd keep all the other stuff for the $200, which is totally fine. I didn't want it in the first place. So we got the 178 games, and like I said, some of these were ones I had traded to him previously. This Silver Surfer right here is one I had traded to him. There's a Millipede in here that was traded. We'll go through these a little closer. This one right here, Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, is one I had traded to him. And he said he had already sold all of his Legos, which I had gotten some of the collection, but I didn't get all of it. And then he said he was selling all of his games off because he keeps buying too many vehicles and needs the funds to work on them. So I said, okay. So we're going to go through them. I'm going to take a seat real quick because I'll probably be bouncing around if I don't. Of course, it makes me look shorter. These games tower over me. But we're going to go through this side. This side has great games in it. It has fun games. It has Gauntlet. It has Double Dragon. It has Goonies, Jaws, Little Nemo and the Dream Master, Bart and Space Mutants. Jackal's a really fun game. Top Gun's impossible to play. It always made me dizzy, especially on the Game Boy. I can't see them while I'm out of breath. American Gladiators. Pretty sure I wanted that one to be better than it was. Dragon Warrior, Batman, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Just classic 80s and 90s titles. This stuff over here, and then these two games right here. Donkey Kong Classics is a great one, and Silver Surfer. So we're going to go through these kind of quickly. I don't want to knock anything over one by one. But, so I am actually going to point out that a lot of these games came with 5 different types of cases. They came with the clamshells, which have the Nintendo print. There actually weren't very many of these. I actually really like these. Some of them came with just your clear box protectors. Some came with actually original Nintendo slipcases. And then some came with the generic blank Nintendo original slipcases. And then some, actually a lot of them, came with aftermarket, recently made. You can just feel by the plastic itself It's thinner, it's a little flimsier, but it still does its job, and it came with a lot of those. So a lot of these games on this side will have them, and then I'll try to like show them off best as can. He also threw in his tool for checking to make sure they're authentic. I have no worries about any of these. Like I said, we've done deals before, but he said he had no other use for it, so he threw it in. I have one, but this one's kind of cool because it has both of them. Mine are just actual bits, so I actually need a wrench to go with it. So, like I said, we're going to go through the games. Baseball Stars is actually one of my favorite baseball games on the NES. It's a classic. Adventures of Lolo. I wish he also had Lolo 2 and Lolo 3. Bubble Bobble. Wish we had Bubble Bobble 2. It's a very expensive game, but I'm fine with that. Mega Man 3. It's, I believe, the most common out of the 6 on the NES. Adventure Island. It's a fun game. Adventure Island 2 is worth more. TMNT, the original. I actually did not like this game. Most people don't. There are a couple unique individuals who think it's a great game. Gunsmoke, surprisingly, is one of my favorite shooters on the NES. Probably next to like Sunset Riders, which is on the Super Nintendo or Genesis. It is actually one of my favorite shooters, period. Hard to find, surprisingly expensive. Nightmare on Elm Street. Friday the 13th is over here somewhere because it is not an expensive game, but Nightmare on Elm Street is. Everybody's favorite, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I'm not sure if we're getting glare or not. That's a great game. Everybody knows it. Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 on the Super Nintendo, but number 1, the one that started it all, Super Mario Brothers 3. You pretty much have to have that if you have a collection. Castlevania Dracula's Curse 3, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones that was included in the trade a couple years ago. Excitebike, a lot of these are in good shape. They have good tops, they have good labels, they need to be cleaned up, they have some dirt in the corners and the crevices, but I don't mind doing that. This one is like, I think one of maybe only 2 that has a ripped label. Super Mario Brothers 2. It's not in great shape, but it's okay. Pac-Man, the Tengen version. I don't think I've ever played it. I never really liked Pac-Man. I always thought Miss Pac-Man was a better game. Castlevania, the original. Like I said, good shape. And then we get to the beautiful gold cartridges. We have both Zelda and then the Adventures of Link. Zelda's in better shape overall. Link has somewhere on the back of it. I'm not sure if you can tell because it's so shiny. But both games are great to have. There aren't any like really expensive, massive heavy hitters in here. You know, those $200, $300, $400, $500 games, but just good games that will sell quickly. Maniac Mansion, it's a very fun game. Tecmo Bowl, everybody's classic, everybody's favorite. Castlevania 2, I guess we have 1 and 3, we have to have 2. Simon's Quest. Ninja Gaiden 2, there is no copy of Ninja Gaiden 3, which is not extremely, but it's pretty valuable. Willow, I think it's like an 18, so it just barely hit it, but it's there. Terminator kind of surprised me. I think it was like 40 to 50, somewhere in there. I don't think I've ever seen it, but that's probably why it's kind of expensive. Oh, Friday the 13th must have skipped in by its teeth, and it is, I think it was like that 15, 25 or something. Ghosts Goblins, the original Super Mario Brothers, not the 2-pack that was packed in. Fantastic shooter. Contra always sells. We just sold a copy of that a couple weeks ago for $35 and it was ripped, so this copy will be much better. Turtles 2, the arcade game. This is the one most people like, next to Turtles in Time, which is on the Super Nintendo. Then we have Metroid, classic. Kid Icarus, Life Force, Mega Man 2. I guess I should have been turning these around the whole time. Ninja Gaiden, which You have 2, you should probably have 1. We don't have 3 in this collection, even though I have had 3 on multiple occasions. I like to trade for other collections with stuff sometimes. Try to turn them around and not knock any of them over. One of my favorite games, I only have a couple games to go over, and then I'll give a pan at the end of all the other titles. These will be listed. They will take, the way I list games with screenshots of them actually working, they will take some time. Give me about a week to get through them. One of my favorite games, and I actually really enjoyed it on Game Boy because they remade it for it, but is River City Ransom. Just a fantastic game. If you've played it, you understand why. And then probably the best and most expensive game out of the collection is the original Mega Man. Doesn't look that appetizing based on the first cover, but I'm glad it went through. Had 6 on this system and then a bunch here on out. But that, I believe, is about an $80 to $85 game. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's pretty close to where we're at. Donkey Kong Classics, Silver Surfer, I think is a $30, $35 game. It's been a while since I've had some original Nintendo cartridges. But yeah, that's kind of what we picked up. Let's see, Friday, after we got home from garage sales, I met him about noon. Made the deal. We had a really good time at garage sales. I do have a lot of footage from that. I'm not sure exactly when it'll come out, but I made an error, and when I edit the video and rewatch it, it'll probably still make me kind of angry. But like I said, Rebecca's recovering from sinus surgery. She did go with me. She did not get out of the car. She just kind of sat there peeking out the window the whole time. But yeah, 178 games, $450, $455 a game. Even if we just sell all of these at $10 a piece, it's $1,400 plus the 38 games that are a little bit better. Sounds like the ice cream man's driving by. That's exciting. But yeah, that's kind of our inside the seller studio today. I don't have really anything else to go over, but like we've always said, we enjoy buying collections, we enjoy buying things we like, and we enjoy buying video games. Usually we don't get this lucky. I feel like we've bought a lot of video game related stuff here recently. Maybe it's the YouTube mojo rubbing off and I'm just getting lucky. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Thanks for tuning in. Did I pay too much? Did I buy it just right? What do you think? Once again, $800, 178 games. I think I did good. I'm very pleased. And I'm pleased that that first person did not buy it. But that's all I've got today. Like I said, I'll pan over, do some B-roll, and let you see all the titles in slow-mo. But thank you for tuning in, and enjoy. Have a great day.